At the same time, you also still have codecs. You have the Claude code there, you have codecs. So the same way you searched for Claude code, you also search for codecs. Codecs is owned by OpenAI, ChatGPT. So once you search for it here, you open it here and you also install that. So that is the first thing you have to do. And these are the different ways you can run Claude code, either on the terminal here, or on this side of the charts after you've installed it, or you can run it on the app. Like I said before, the reason why I prefer running it on VS Code is because if, for instance, I want to start working on a file, I want to start working on anything, you always need to open a file that you're working on or open a folder that you need to work from. So if you go to File, for instance, you click on Open Folder and you search for, let me just say, Open Chris. Or let me say Open Claude Video. So once you search for that, it opens that file that you want to start working on. So you see the file on this side of the screen. You see everything that you're working on this side of the screen. So you can see what you have and you can start working with it from here. Compared to the app where you don't have the option to see it on the side. You only see what you've currently worked on or what your previous chat history. That's what you see here. So that's how you start using it. And that's basically what you need to understand for you to start using Claude Code, depending on what you want to use that for. Okay, so installation, if you want to have that installed on the, like if you want to store it on a terminal, if we go to, it's either here. If it opens, then you have to run a command to have that installed on the terminal. So if we basically run this command, so this will install it on your terminal. That means you have it on your system and you can run it on your terminal or you can run it on even on VS Code. So you can either install it this way or you go through VS Code and look for it through extension and install it. So that's how you have it working. Okay, so I don't want to go too technical into this so I don't start confusing people or making it boring for you. I just want us to just go straight into hands-on practical. Okay, so the first thing you need to have in mind while working with Claude Code is how to, first you have to prompt it, and you also need for it to be able to break down what it's going to give you, how you want it to respond back to you. Like if I open this, you'll see we have different options here. We have ask before editing. That means before Claude does anything, Claude will ask you, do you want me to go with this, or do you want me to go with this other one? You have edit automatically. If you don't want it to ask you, keep asking a question, you just select this, automatically it edits. And you have bypass permission. Bypass permission simply means that it won't ask you any question. You just go straight and start working, which is very dangerous, except if you understand what you're doing and you trust the file you're working with. Now, plan mode is basically the best that they always recommend for you to start with, because once you have a plan mode, once you have this selected, before Claude does anything, it gives you a breakdown of what it wants to do. It gives you the plan, the instruction, or how it intends carrying out what it wants to do. How it intends carrying out what it wants to do. So with that way, you can understand, okay, if you want that to, if you like that plan and if you want it to continue, you ask it to proceed. But if you don't like the plan, you can tell it to change to different thing or try something different. So the plan is a lot better because it's more like the cheapest way to catch misalignment. So if the AI is deviating from what you ask them to do, you can catch them from beginning and say, no, don't do it that way. So that way you also save yourself token, because if you don't do this plan mode first and it goes ahead, spend like 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes to create what it's created for you, and you realize that there was a mistake or that was not what you wanted, that means you would have wasted that token for that period. And you still ask it to go back and recreate or do other things, so it would have been a waste. But if you have this plan mode from the beginning, it shows you what it wants to work on. And with that, if it's not what you have in mind, then you should just tell it from that point in time before you start coding. So that's why it's important to start with plan mode. Then after that, you can change it to a pass permission or edit automatically. So that's just how you start. So another thing I also want us to understand is that if you're coding with Claude, even though you're not like a developer or a programmer, you should not just see it as like a messenger you send to do things and just ask them to keep doing those things. Whatever Claude code has given you, you should always walk through that thing with it. Ask it for, okay, why did you choose this process? Clarify why you're doing it this way. That way you understand why it's doing what it's doing. You understand it. And that also helps you to learn what it's doing. So you can also explain that to people. And if there's an issue, if something breaks, you can always go back to it and say something has broken. And that is that. Okay, so the next thing I want us to talk about, which is the next most important thing, is the files you create, or more like what you give to Claude to understand you from beginning. So the first one, I think I need to, let me see if I can get, okay, let me open draw. Okay, so it's even good I have it here already. So Doc looked at Claude Code, the terminal apps. Let me see if what I have in mind is here, or this Claude Code. Talked about this, why it matters. So this is just the planning part I talked about. Planning, then to look at the files, then the terminals, the packages. All this we'll also look at in much more detail. But what I also want us to look at, let me just have this. So there's a file that you need to create from beginning, which is called Claude.md. I'll need to paste this file. So if you have yours open, you can just have that as well. So Claude.md is the first thing we should create when we start working with Claude, because basically what this does is, this is just like the project file. Like for instance, you're giving Claude like an instruction on this is how you want it to work. This is what you want it to do. This is the stack or the tech stack you want it to use. This is how you want it to present your code. And this is how you want it to build what you want it to build. So basically, you're telling it to, giving it an instruction on what you want it to do and how you want it to do it. So it's important for you to have this. If I go to, let me open Claude again and say, let's say I want to work on this. Let me just tell Claude and say, that's fine. I want you to create a Claude.md file. So basically, if it looks at your code, looks at what you're doing, it understands what you want it to do for you. And when it does not understand, it comes back to ask you a question. So if you have that Claude.md file, that means you have like this soul, you have everything that you want to work with and all the programming language you want to use. So that way it won't keep asking you a question going forward, because you know that you already have this information. So it will keep coming back to you, and it will to keep using that same thing that you've asked it to build from beginning. So now it will need to ask you some questions to understand. Tell me project intent. I'll write tailored Claude.md. Say stop. I'll draw a blank template now. So basically, it will ask you some question if you tell it this to create this, because you need to understand what you want to create. And once you tell it what you want to create, basically it creates this file and it saves it on your folder. You'll see this file. So it always refers back to this file whenever it needs to do anything, whenever it needs to create any work. So I'll just copy all this, for instance. So I'll just give it. So with this, it have an idea of what I want to create, and it saves that file. So it's important for you to have this. If not, you keep going back and forth with it. It'll keep asking you a question and you keep repeating yourself. But once you already have this saved, now it says written Claude.md, brand colors, pulled from memory, failing API endpoints, keys when known. So basically, it has created this Claude.md, and this is it now. Now, if I click on this Claude.md, you'll see what it has created for me here. Now, this is it, the project guide for Claude Code. Use React's front end, functionality, branding. So everything that I need to work on this particular folder. It has created that. So it has that as stored like a memory. So it won't need to come back and keep asking me, okay, should I use React? Should I use any other programming language? Because it has everything it needs stored in this memory. So this is just like an example. If I'm really working on this, I'll need to take time to explain things to it so it will understand what I need to work, and it will have a lot that it will save. And from here, it took my previous brand color from my website, added here. But if you don't, you can always give it, okay, I want this brand color, I want this there, I want this animation, I want this text, everything you want. That's how it presents it for you. So this is the first thing we should have when working with Claude Code. Okay, so let's just proceed. Please feel free to drag me back if you have any question. Ife, please go ahead.
So I could see that you used a prompt. You copied from somewhere. We didn't see that anyway. But what was the prompt you?
It's still the same. This one here, Claude.md, this example. I can put it on the chat. So
Okay, so that we can follow you as you're doing it.
yeah, let me just do that now. So there's that chat again. Sorry, guys. Okay, come back to share. Okay, so that's just a rough example of what you can add, you can give it. But if you have a tech stack, if you have like a code style, if you have like a design rule, if you have like an API that you want to use, it will create this .env. So .env is like an environment. In the programming space, anytime you create a file and you add dots in front of it, I think what they say it means is that you don't want that file to be pushed to GitHub or to be pushed publicly. So if you create this file and you add dots in front of it, this .env, so that means it will know that it is not supposed to push that to public space. So if you're working with any LLM and you need to give them an API key for them to, like, you want to connect an external application, I need to give them an API key. It is not advisable to paste your API key on the chat because the chat is most times not 100% private because of the people. Because at times, if it stores information on the chat and it tries to push that to GitHub, it can push everything that you've discussed with it to GitHub as well. So somehow they mistakenly push the API key, and anybody that has access to API key will run down your credits. So it's important you tell them to create a .env file. If you see here, it says .env key when known. So it will create if I tell it now to create a .env file, let me just tell it. Please create a .env file. So it will create the .env file, and with that file, you'll be able to add all your API keys to it. So now, which service do you want to use? I will say, okay, let me just even give it everything. You will see it will create different .env file. One .env file with all this inside. Okay, so once you give it this, it creates the .env file, and once you have the API key, once the file, okay, this is the file now. It has created this .env.example. If I click on this .env file now, you'll see. So if I have my OpenAI key, I'll just come here, paste it, come here, paste Anthropic. And that's another reason, excuse me, that's another reason why I prefer working on VS Code compared to working on the app. So for the app, you won't have that option for you to update that env file. You have to go to the folder, have to open your folder on the system, look for the folder where it is saved, and open the env file on Notepad and start updating that. But from here, it's a lot easier. I just clicked on it, so it's open. So I'll just put my API key, then put the second API key. So once you do all this, you click on Control Save. That saves automatically. That saves automatically, and you know that you have that out of the way. So that's important for us to have in mind as well. Okay, so another thing I want us to also have in mind when working with Claude Code is it has some some command that helps it work more effectively. So it's important for you to understand this command because, for instance, if you're having a long conversation, a long chat with it on this chat, at the point, because we know that Claude has a limited session or token usage, yes, I know it has about 1 million context window. So the context, your conversation, everything you've been chatting with it from start to finish. It could also mean your message you've sent, the response to it, the prompt, everything. So for that whole session, that's what the context window is. So 1 billion token context window is enough for us to use. But at the point, at some point, you might use so much, and if you don't clear it, it might start forgetting the previous things you said from beginning, or you might start mixing some things up. So for us to clear this session and start so that we know that we don't hit our limits faster, you can do /clear. Let me just send all these commands, or just the most important ones, to us. So there's my Scarlet draw. So we have different /clear means to reset the session, to clear everything out. Let me just go and just put it to text. /clear is to clear everything. But before we clear, it's important for us to compact. It's important for us to compact, that summarize what you've talked about, the whole conversation. So that way, even if you're clear and starting a new session, you can always ask it to go back to what you've talked about. And that is the reason why it's important for us to have this Claude.md file, because it saves all your conversation into it. And once you clear, now if I do this /clear, it will clear the whole session. So now what it has done is that it starts afresh. Let me just make sure everything goes out. So this clear. So this session is supposed to be cleared. Everything now you're starting from afresh, but because you have this Claude.md file, it remembers what your previous conversation is, and it helps it to continue from where you stopped instead of starting all over from beginning. So it's important we understand some of these commands. They'll also help us to work faster with Claude. Another one that is important also is /init, no slash. And once you just type on /, it gives you different options. As you start typing, it brings what you want out. So /init is also for you to store everything that you've talked about so far into the Claude.md file. So once I click on this, it knows that what it has to do is to store my conversation into the Claude.md file. So that's basically what that works. And it will save everything to that. And let's see. I know this is not supposed to be technical, and it seems like I'm trying to avoid the technical part of it. But these are some of the things that are important for us to understand if we must work well with Claude Code and with any of these vibe coding tools. The same way you're doing this, you can also do that with Codex as well. You can also do that with OpenClaw. They also accept the same commands as well. So while this is going on, let's go back to this. One other thing that is important for us to have in mind is skills. So we have a new session. We'll go to routines. So basically, you see that from Claude projects, customize. Hope I've not ended up losing anybody so far.
I'm just gonna have to practice.
Okay, you know what? Let's start the practice with this. One thing that is very important is skills. So basically, skills just like reusable instructions. So it's important for us to, like everything that you do with Claude Code or any of these LLMs, you have to give them the skills that you have to train them. It's just like having a new employee. You're training them on what you want them to do, how to do that thing. So once you give them that skill, as time goes on, they develop more and they develop more skills, and they start becoming better, much more better. So if you give them a particular skill to do something, you always tell them to refer back to that skill for whatever they want to do. if I slash skills, I'm only using this for slash skills. So you see, these are some of the skills that it has already. The most important, or the first one you should understand is skill creator. So now I selected skill creator. So what it does is that it asks me what kind of skill I want to create. And skill is very, very important and very, very powerful using in any of these LLMs, because it helps them understand how to work better. So what skill do you want? Trigger when, output format, existing draft. So this is one way to create a skill. Another way is to download the skill. If we go to different skills, let me see if I can still find. So for instance, most of these skills are being saved on GitHub. This is Excalibur skill. Like if I go back to that, so this diagram, for instance, everything you can see here was actually created by AI, because I gave it the skill to use this Excalibur and to understand how to create it. So it created everything for me without me doing anything, and it launched it. So once you're able to find a skill that you want, you can tell it what you want it to do for you and how you want that skill to, how you want to always call on that skill, and it's be able to create exactly that thing you want for you. So this is another powerful aspect of using AI, basically for agentic task, agentic workflow. So that's one. And now I can do this by myself, but if I don't have an idea of the skill that I want to create, I can either just start search for it and see what they have, or there's also a skill marketplace where you can look for skills to download. But the risky part is that most of those skills might be infected with virus. So you just have to be careful on what you're looking for. But the overall goal of this skill is to be able to have that ability to do things for you, basically. Like what I did yesterday, the video I created yesterday about the process of editing video from start to finish using Remotion and Hyperframe, and also uploading it to YouTube. That's also another skill which I gave to Claude, and it understood the skill and was able to do that for me. So that is how skill works. If you want to get the best out of your Claude code, you need to make sure it has a skill. You give it a skill. So that is that. Let me see if please go ahead.
All right. Yeah. So the question I have is that for the skills, I can see that you're using the prompts on VS Code. How do you use it on the on Claude itself?
Remember when we were looking at Claude, we saw skills. This skill, I have this skill, sit dance to director. So with this, you can create the best sit dance prompt to create a video, sit dance video. This is the skill creator. If I go to manage skills, you'll see the skills that I have already. If I click on this reference, so you see what it has, prompt example. This is for this sit dance, prompt example and all that. And on this side of it, I have different skills. If I click on this one, let me see, connect. So this one's are MCP. This one, I don't know if you guys can see my screen very well. This one, 15 co-work skills. This one is Etsy digital design skills. This one is sales skills. So if I go back, I can add a new skills from here. If I click on add a skill, these are the ones that they have by default. You can just look for anyone that you have. Canvas design, MCP builder, skill creator is the one most people use to create their own skill. Slack. So you can look for any skill here, or you can also go from plugins. So plugin and skill. Skill is just like a subset of plugin. So you can, if for these cells now, if I click on this gives me different skills under cells. If I click on productivity, it gives me different skills under productivity. I can decide to look for anyone that I think I might fancy here. Let me just start all over again in case I'm being too fast. So if you want to go get to the skills, on just the chat page, you can click on this, click on skills, then click on add skills. So you can add different skills that you already have here, and you can click on plugin for you to get other skills as well. You just have to look at what they can do and why you need them. For instance, Figma, people that need to have the Figma skill on their coding, that's people that do like product managers or people that create design apps. They can connect Figma to it or give it the Figma skill. So once you click on anyone, you install it. So it automatically installs the skills. So this Claudinary has 2 skills attached to it. If I go back, there are some that have more. Let me look at Figma. Now, Figma has 9 different skills attached to it. So once you click on install, automatically it installs all these 9 skills, and it gives Claude Code that Figma ability that you can create Figma design on Claude Code instead of going to Figma. Like that, this diagram that I created, everything I created here was created on Claude Code. So I just had to save it, and I came here to open, and I imported it from my saved dashboard, from my saved computer, and automatically it displays. So once you have that skill, you can, instead of you going out to a different app, you do everything you want to do on Claude Code on the app connected to this. So that's the importance of having these skills. So that's very important for us to understand. And also looking at that as well, let me see, go back to this, connectors. So now these connectors, they are different from skills and plugin. Skills and plugin is that you're giving Claude Code the skill to do what that app can do. Like if we're using Canva, for instance, you're giving Claude Code the power to do what Canva can do. So, but for this connector, this is where you use MCP, which is Model Context Protocol. Use MCP to connect to an external app. So if you connect it to Gmail, for instance, you can type on your Claude and tell it to send an email, or check your Gmail and draft an email, or draft a response, or look for the latest email. So you can connect to that app. You can do things on that app, but you might not have the skills to do that thing very well. That's the difference. But skills gives you that ability to do that in the way it will be done on that platform. But connector with MCP just connects you to that different app. So that's one thing we need to have in mind as well. Okay, so that's how you get to that. And now, let me go back to this. Another thing also we need to have in mind is that most times there are to install some skills, you need to install them either on Claude Code or CoWork. So if you try to install those skills on chats, like for instance, I asked it here, do you have the hyperframe skills? It does not have the skills. And let me also ask it again. Can you install the skills if I give you the repo? So now on the chats, you won't be able to install some skills. But if you want to install skill, you need to install it from either CoWork or from code. Let me look for skills for us to download and install. So it's a not as permanent install, no, but here's what I can actually do, which might cover and do clone affect the repo, read the skill.md, follow the skill. So you cannot install the skill. You can just clone the repo, read what the skill is all about, and try and have it, and try and create a skill.md file where it works with. So, but it does not install that skill. But if we want to install skill, now let me ask the same question here. Let me go back and copy that question so I don't have to start typing in Claude chat. So let me go back, copy the same question. Now I'm at Claude Code. Let me ask you the same question. Let me start a new session. So now because of it, you can install skills on Claude Code and Claude CoWork. It's easier for you to do them here. And once you have the skill to install, they can do that. They can read the repo, install the skill, and have it saved. You can either save it globally or you can just save it on a particular folder. So now I say, yes, go to hyperframe CLI, hyperframe registry, also related. So it has the skill already. Meanwhile, its other colleague or its other brother does not have the skill. So that's the difference between both of them. And for you to start working here, let me not go to terminal anymore or VS Code. Let's focus on the app. Since most people might want to use this app because it's user friendly and it's a lot less technical to use. So if we go to session, you have to start with a folder. If you want to work on Claude Code here, you have to first of all add a folder, just like we do on VS Code, or you just go to local. Local, yes, selected, then open the folder, then look for which folder do you want to, let me say, let's do something. So let me just create a new folder, So, okay, let's look for skill to use. Let's look for skill. So let me ask Perplexity to help me find. So can you please search for the best building code skills and it learning. And I just type it and just say the word instead of typing. Okay, so now let's look for skills that we can install. Let's just do it live and just see how it works. So what it will do basically is to search GitHub and look for skills that we can use. So top Claude affiliate skills by Afro, a comprehensive suite of AI agent skills for affiliate marketing, covering trending content research. Let me see, mind skills by Gig, local skills for fetching curated content from highly sources, including AI news. These skills they look interesting. Lot AI trading skills, lot skills, X creator. Okay, let's just go with this first one. So let's see the repo. Now this is the GitHub page. This is virtual listing you 373 stars. So what you do once you're on the GitHub repo, you click on this, copy the link, or you can even copy the link from the URL, whichever one is fine. Then you go back to Claude Code, and let's say we want to create a folder. Let me go back again. We want to create a folder. Let's just open it on our download, new folder. Let's call it affiliates. Then select this folder. So now everything will be working or be under this affiliate folder. You can create a skills folder and save all your skills on the folder, or you can even save the skills globally. So now let's see. I have pasted an affiliate skills below. I want you to go through that skills, go through the repo, understand the skills, and also install the skills globally for me inside this folder. Okay, not just inside this folder, install the skill globally so I can also use it on the terminal as well. So now let's page down and paste that skill. So this is how you install the skill, or how you have a skill downloaded and installed. So what it will do basically is it will go through the repo, understand the repo, and also install the skill from there. Now this is that permission thing. It will keep asking you a question about what it wants to do, but you just have to keep accepting. Just for security reasons, you can't just go through and install things from a different repo to ask you. Now let's take this as well, and let us open Codex. We can also do the same thing on Codex. So for those that have ChatGPT subscription, you can do the same thing as well. You can have this installed. It's already selected. It's on the playground. You can add a new project if you want, but that's fine. So I have this project playground where I do everything. You can add a new project here, click and create a new project. But if you don't want it, it can create default project for you, then send it. So what it will do is that automatically goes ahead to install that same skill. The same thing that, okay, so we're on the main app. The same thing that this does. And after it has installed the skill, you have to also we can ask it for us to understand, for us to know if it actually understands the skills that it has installed. So let's just give it some time to see. Okay, let's see what Codex is saying. I show the GitHub report, the source skills, I'm using skill installer. Okay, so what they have here is called skill installer. On Claude, they have skill creator, but they do virtually the same thing. Okay, so this is basically how you have a skill installed. And the most important thing for you to work with, like I said before, is just the skill. Skill is very important. If you have a skill for anything, you don't have to worry about prompting. You don't have to worry about the way you talk to AI. AI understands that thing and they'll be able to carry that same instruction very well for you. The most important thing is just for you to have that skill and to know how to do that. So now at times this might take some time before it finishes. The repo is reachable publicly by HTTP. So this is doing. Another reason why I also prefer this Codex to Cloud Code. Codex has the option for us to go through the file. You can also look at the sidebar. It has that same file, that sidebar for us that we see if we're looking at our files. If we're looking at our file using VS Code, so you can select different things you want to view. You can also see the terminal, how it's building it up. So let's see how far with this. So while this is trying to install, does anybody have any questions so far? Now, once you have a skill installed, the next thing will be to create what you want to create. So there are different skills based on what you want to do, based on what your business line is. So depending on what you want to do, then you'll be able to think of a skill or look for a skill that you can install to help you do that in better or to help you do it faster. And if you notice that you keep talking to Claude or keep telling it to do something over and over again, you can eventually tell it to convert that as a skill and save it as a skill under the skill.md file. Or if you're using a particular skill, you're creating something with Claude Code, and it's not giving you exactly what you want, and you keep going back and forth, keep correcting it, and you keep understanding, doing it better, keeps improving. You have to, at the end of the day, tell it to make sure that everything that it has updated or has improved on, it should add that to the skill it has already. So that's how the skills improves over time. You don't just have a skill installed and start performing magic immediately. You need to work with it severally, and it keeps iterating on it, making sure it improves over time. Then as time goes on, it will master how to do that in better. Like for instance, let me see how far with Codex. So Codex is still running that installation. So for instance, if you have a particular thing you want to do, you have a skill installed. Once that skill has been installed, you tell it to test that skill to see how it works. So once it goes ahead to try it and it works the way you want it, then you can start implementing it. If it does not work the way you want it, you still have to correct it, run the prompt again, tell it to go back and change some things. And at the end, it has to save that thing as what you want to do. So that's basically it. So it's important for us to understand how skills works. And let's also make sure we use it more because it will save us a whole lot. So let's skill affiliates. Let me ask as installed. And another thing we need to understand about this AI is that you don't need to be technical to be able to interact with them. Just a simple language, just a simple English. Whatever you don't understand, whatever it's doing, if you can't find that thing, tell it, how do I complete this? How do I do this thing? So it has done some parts, full installation, terminal, install bone, blah, blah, blah. Already done, skill bone, use skills from, okay, let me just say option B. So you don't need to be technical to be able to work with it. As long as you know what you want to do, just type a simple English to it and it will understand. Final state, usage click, set affiliates and API key. So now I need to add an affiliate key to it to install. So that's one is, by the way. Let me also look for something else that we can create. One more thing. So new session. Let me ask it. Do you have the remotion skills. Or do you have the emotion skills? So that's just it about Claude Code. It's not as if there is something too big about it, or there's one technical thing that you need to understand or you need to know how to do. You want to just know what you have in mind, what you want to do. The more you keep working with it, the more you keep understanding. And once you know what skills or what you want to achieve, you create a skill for it. It makes it easier. Yes, it has a emotion skill. So once it has a skill, just give it a prompt, a simple prompt. Tell it what you want to do. It will use that skill to create that thing for you without even you doing anything. So that's just basically all you need to understand about these AI agents, AI tools, because the more you talk to them, the more they become better in what they are doing. So let's see. Now this has installed the skill. Let's see. Now this is another reason why I prefer Codex or why I like Codex, because you can see what it has installed. It shows you everything on the side. It shows you the file, what you're working with, compared to Claude. Claude does not show you the file, so you don't even see what you're working with. You have to go check the folder to see what it has done. But this, you can see it side by side, and you can update anything you want to update. So what can this skill do for me? Let's see this. Let me also do the same thing. Yeah. Find the best affiliate programs for AI video tools, compare agent. Yeah, I think this skill is important. This skill looks interesting. I'll come back to it. So let's ask it the same thing here. Do you have emotion skill? So let's go back to Claude. Please, if I'm being too fast, just slow me down and ask me your question so I don't lose anybody. Yes, I have emotion scale. Now I want us to compare the video this will create to what Claude Code will create. So while this is coming on, let me find out. Cornelia, how far with yours? Are you following along? Is there any other person following?
Little by little, but I'm gonna have to just keep practicing. It's not something I'm gonna get all in one day.
That's why I'm just trying to use like a plain, simple language so you can also see what I'm doing and also try the same thing as well.
No, I appreciate it.
Once
you're gonna have to keep practicing it, it will get better.
Even if you don't, you can't even think of just think of what you want to do. Let's say, for instance, if you want to start, if you're applying for a job, you want the AI to be able to understand how to go through CV and all that, how to go through your CV, understand your CV, compare it to the job description, how to help you apply and all that. You can even create a skill for that. You can go to the skill creator. Let me see if I can open. Okay, this one is still working on it. Let's see, we have Claude here. So, new chat. So let me see if this gives the option to create scale. Okay, scales, scale creator. So you can just even tell it that I want to create a skill that helps me apply for a job. First, I will need my CV and JD to analyze and it's best candidate for the role. Okay, so you can just create a skill with just input text, just telling it this is what you want to do. And with this, it will come back, ask you some questions just to clarify. And if it understands what you want to do, then to go ahead and create that skill for you. So whenever you want to apply for a job, you just call on that skill. I can just tell it, use the job application based on, depending on whatever it calls it, the skill, whatever name it calls it. Either you tell it, use this skill, or you just type on slash, then the skills will come up. The skills that you have will come up. Then you select the one you want. Then once you select that, you go ahead and ask them whatever you want to tell it to do, attach your CV, attach the JD, and it should go ahead to do that for you. So that's just very how simple it is to create a skill. And with the skill, you always get the best out of this tool. So now asking questions, civil service only, private sector only, both. You just have to answer the questions. Which output should it produce? Tailored CV, cover letter, interviews, just make sure you answer all the question it will ask. How should the skill behave? Guided multi-stage, one shot. Okay, so that's just all it needs. Once you understand what you want, it creates that skill for you. So let's see how these other ones. This is still creating. Let's see this. This is also still creating. Okay, so while we're just waiting for this one to complete, let's just move to the next thing we should look at, which is this. Now, before we even move to this, does anybody have any question or anything that needs some clarification on about Claude Code? So I wanted us to try different things on, but most times if you're doing things live, you have to keep waiting for them to complete before you move to the next one. If not, you won't be able to progress. So these two are still running. Let's just still give them time to complete, and we can compare the video they create. And this is still running. Let's see, 8 minutes. Running, installing dependencies. And that's another good thing about using these tools or these AI models, because they are very proactive. Most times, if they need to create something on your system, on your laptop, and you don't have some dependencies or some supporting files, they can install those things themselves just to make sure that they give you what you want. And most times, once they realize that they've hit like a brick wall or there's an error, they correct the error. They self-heal, they heal themselves, correct the error, and make sure that they're able to accomplish that task for you. So that's the reason why these agentic AIs are very powerful. So they are both still running. Let's see. Okay, so now let's start talking about Claude Design. So Claude Design basically is for people that understand how design works, or you want to create a design. Either you want to create a design, or you want to create like a landing page or a website or a presentation slide. So it's just basically the same thing that Canva, Gamma, the same thing that they do. That is just what it does. So once you need to also have this with your subscription, with your Claude Code subscription or your Anthropic subscription, which is the $20 a month plan, or any of the plans, for you to be able to access this. So once you land on this page, you'll be able to, so you can get to this page from here. Okay, so this is still working. You can get to this page from this design. If you click on this design on the browser, but if you go to the app, you won't be able to find that option for design. You won't find the option for design on the app. So you have to go to the browser for you to find that option. Once you click on this design, it will take you to this page. So once you're on this page, you have different things that you can do. You can create like a new prototype, like a landing page or a website or something. You can create a slide deck. You can also create from templates. If you have a template, you want to create something, you want to recreate, you can create from a template or whatever, any other project you want, you have in mind. So let's go back to this prototype. So let's just say I want to create a dashboard, for instance. Let me go and look for a prompt that I can just copy. So, professional workshop deck. Now let's do this simple one. Let's see. Now I want to create this. Then you can either, because if you started from scratch, it will ask you to add a design style. So the design is basically your brand guide, what you want your design to always look like. Because I already have a brand, so I already selected mine. But if you don't have, you just go to none. So I just leave it at none. And let's just say snake game. So always important to select high fidelity. So high fidelity basically means that it gives you like what you want. It gives you like a working app. But if you select the wireframe just gives you like a prototype, like not like a prototype, basically. It just gives you like a sketch that is not completely designed. So always select high fidelity. Then you click on create. Let me see, design. So if you have your own design example, there are also other examples that you can try to look at. So let's just create. Then now it gives us this window for us to give it a prompt. So if you've used Lovable to create a website before, this is just like the same interface with Lovable. And this is where you add your prompts. Now I wanted to create a 3D interactive snake game with working functionality. You can import any asset, anything you have that you wanted to use in creating whatever you want to create. You can also drag from Figma. You can also add screenshots, add design style. But let's just say we don't have all those things. We're just giving it this simple prompt. Let's just send it. And let's check on the other ones. This one is still asking too many questions. Let's say this. Now this has completed the rendering. Then I've created the render is motion graphics. So this is where it saved it. Let's open it. So this is the MP4 file. Now this is what it created using Remotion. So this is just basically like the first prompt, first shot. You can always still go back and iterate on it, telling it, okay, why not add something, change this one, remove this one, make this one this, make this. So you can always still go back to it and tell it to do something different. But with this first one, you can still use it for whatever you want to do, or make it edit what it has already done. So this is just the first prompt. I can also go back and say add something different. And at the same time, I can even tell it to add a voiceover to it. And to add a voiceover, what you just need to do is to add an 11 Lab API key. Give it your API key and also give it the voice ID you want to use from 11 Lab. So it will add that and create an audio which will be synchronized to it. So that way, once it's showing on screen, it's also presenting at the same time. Let's see if Claude Code has finished. Yeah, another reason why I am moving towards Codex a bit, because Codex has completed what I asked them to do. And I asked Claude Code first. Claude Code 15 minutes plus, and it's still working on it, still asking me too many questions. So let's still give it time. Let's see who else. This is still working on the snake game. And while this is working on the snake game, I want us to also try this with DeepSeek. Now, remember I said we can also we should also use DeepSeek V4 because it has a very good model at the moment. It's also close to what these big models give us. So that's why I want to also bring it into the equation and let it also give us what we can compare. So how does it look like? Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yes, you can.
Yes.
I was thinking like I was lagging, I was dragging a bit. Okay, so expert mode, give it the same prompt, and let's go. Now we'll compare this 3D snake game with what we get from Claude Design. Now this is what Claude Design gave us. Let's see if it's working. Initialize. Okay, that's too fast. Now if I press the down arrow, okay, so if I press up arrow, it will restarts. If I press left arrow, it restarts. Okay, something is not working right. Something is not working right here, but you can see the first shots. This is what we got from it. So basically, Claude Design uses the same Opus 4.7, which is also very good. And you can use it to code anything you want and get what you want, which is as well as good as what you can get from Claude Code. So, and the good thing about this is that if you start from here, you might not have the option to be able to download it and use it on your system, but you just have different options. You can either download it as a project, as a zip file, or what people usually do most times is they hand it off to Claude Code. So Claude Code would then do the finishing touches. And from Claude Code, you can then push it to GitHub. And if you want to host it locally, you can host it on your own different server. At the same time, you can also comment on what you want it to update. You can just select it and comment on something. And what else can you do? You can edit. If you don't like, you want to change the color, you can do some editing. You can also draw and say, this part of this part, I don't like it. Or let me just go back and say, control button does not work very well. So let us see, go ahead and fix that. Let's see DeepSeek. DeepSeek is still thinking. So that's one thing you can do with Claude Design. Another thing that it's very good at is creating presentation, creating slide decks. It's also very good at that. One other thing I also want to show, so we're still on this Claude Design matter. Let's just open this. Now, if we look at this app looks like, it looks almost the same like this Claude Design app. This is an open source app. It's one of these companies in China that created it. So they called it Open Core Design. So they actually mirrored what Claude Design has and what Claude Design can do. And that was how they created this app. So if you're using Claude Design and you want to get a free version of it, you can download this app and use it, run it virtually for free. So if you go to the same, you have examples, your design, examples, design system, but you have to connect it to a model that you're subscribed to. So me, I connected it with my ChatGPT subscription. Yeah, connected it with your Claude or any other subscription you have. So if we go to, let's start a new one, and let's also give it the same task, and let's see what it can do compared to what the big boys are already doing. So let's say allow it to run, and let's say this. Okay, so it has finished. Let's reload, and let's see. No, I'm not commenting. Okay, so everything is working very fine now. So the R is working very fine. Now it looks like it's working perfectly. So this is fine. Okay, so let's see DeepSeek. DeepSeek is still coding. And let's see, this is still on this remotion, 21 minutes, 22 minutes, and it has not created. And that's Claude Code for you. Now Codex, let's give Codex the same task. Open a new chat for me. Create the same 3D snake for me, and let's see. So, okay, so now that we've seen what this can do, let's go back and see what else we can ask it to do for us. So I don't want to use my design default. So let's create a new project. Let's say, I want to create a landing page. No, let's look for something technical, something complex. Let's want to create a CRM dashboard. Let me go to this guy again. So I want to put test. Give me a detailed prompt for it to create a CRM dashboard. So let it give us what we can give to them. This is working on this. Just again, I'll build a real payable local app, then run it so you can try it. This report is a motion workspace. Okay, I'm using a motion workspace. I've got the shape now, so I can okay, still created on a motion workspace. Okay, so finally, let's see the video. Okay, this is actually better. Okay, so because I did not tell it the dimension or aspect ratio, it just created a 16:9 kind of video compared to what Codex created that was 9:16. I think it was 9:16. Let's just double check. Yeah, 9:16. So this is what Codex created compared to what Claude Code created. So we can see by far Claude Code is better when it comes to these remotion skills. And the reason why it's better because I've used Claude Code for this for a very long time. So I've been going back and forth with it. on correction, iteration, and it has understood what it needs to do and how to create the best kind of emotion video. So that's why it's creating something much more better compared to Codex. So that's done. Just a moment, something just popped up on my screen. So which one is this? Let me see. Let me see your own snake game run. So why is it taking time to come up? So guys, are you guys still following? Am I too fast? Cleopatra, go ahead with your question.
Okay, so you said the reason why Claude design is better for you because you've worked with it over time, right? So is it possible for you to extract? Okay, I remember that in one of the tips you dropped on the groups, you said to ask ChatGPT or any of the AIs that we are very conversant with to give us a PDF sort of history of how we love to work for things like co-work. So do you think that the same
Cleopatra,
thing could apply here? Where
Cleo, sorry to cut you short. I think there's the background
mm,
noise. I can barely hear you.
can you hear me now?
Okay, much better now. Yeah.
Okay, I said, you mentioned that the reason why cloud design is better for you is because you work with it over time compared to the ChatGPT option, OpenAI option, or
Yeah.
the codex. But sorry, then again, on our platform, when you were giving us tips the first few weeks of this program, you mentioned that if we wanted to transfer the knowledge of our mode of operation from one AI to another, we could just basically ask one of the AIs that we often use, like ChatGPT, to give us a PDF of how we like to work, and we can basically transfer that to, like, say, Grok. Do you think
Yeah.
that that could apply in this case, where you get the knowledge of how you work or your mode of operation on Cloud design and then move it into Codex? Do you think that can work as a custom
So
instruction or something? I don't know.
it's the reason why it won't work is because what you're transferring is who you are, what you do, what that chat what that AI know you for, and how that AI interact with you. So it's basically everything about your operation, not the skills. Now, this skill is different. You can't transfer the skills. You can, because the skills you have to install it. But your style of working, your personality, your brand, your everything about you is what you've been telling the AI from beginning. So the AI understands what you do, understand everything about you. So that is what you can transfer. But what we use in creating that video is the skill. So that skill, it's the only thing you can do is basically to have that skill installed on the other AI you want to transfer it to, and keep using it over time and keep improving. Or you take the same improvement you've made from the other one to this next one. Tell it the same thing you've told the other one. That this kind of video I want. I want it to always pop up like this. I want it to always have image or graphic or animation. Just tell it how you want it. But you won't be able to transfer that because it's a skill that you install, and it's a skill that improves over time. So that's just the difference. But if it's the personality, the branding, the image, everything about you, you can transfer that because it's something that it has known about you over time, something that has been stored in your conversation with it. So that is that Claude.md file. That is what you can transfer. Everything inside Claude.md file, that's what you can transfer to the other AI tool. But the skills, you have to install it and keep using it over time so for it to improve on what it's doing. So that is that. And this is what a free model gave us compared to what a paid model gave us. Let me just try it and see if it's working. See, just first prompt, and it even looks much more better. It looks more 3D like compared to what Claude Design gave us. It looks more 3D like. So that's the reason why I said if you have open claw, make sure you use DeepSeek V4 in it because this is a very powerful model. And on the platform, you can use it for free. You don't have to pay for API. But if you're using the API for any other model, you have to pay for that. So that is that compared to what we had from here. So let's say the prompt we have. One more thing, I think Codex also, we told it to also create the same snake game. Okay, so I think it has created it.
Sorry to cut you short, Eric. We did see the game from DeepSeek. All
We didn't see the game from DeepSeek.
from my end, all I saw was just from scrolling on the screen. Did any other person see?
Can you see my screen now? Can anybody see my screen now?
Yeah, I can see it.
Can you see the game?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is the game.
It's just right off. I thought it was supposed to.
Can you see the game now, or are you seeing just the prompt or the code?
I'm still seeing the code. The screen is split in two. On one side, the more prominent side, the code, and then apparently the part of the game.
Yeah, I can see the game.
can see the
Probably
game
Cleo's using her phone. If she's
Yeah.
using her phone, that's probably why she can only see half.
Okay, I can see now. I can see now. Sorry, I can see now.
Okay.
I
So-
minimized the screen.
Okay.
If you want to, I will.
So this is it. If you see this, like I said, it looks more 3D like compared to what Claude Design gave us. Even though Claude Design is a paid model, it gave us something that is not as good as this. This is it, what the free model gave us. And let's also look at what Codex gave us. I think I opened Codex. So the game is running here. Now this is what Codex gave us. That. No, I can't. Can you guys see the game? Let me see if I'm even sharing.
Yeah, it says game on.
Yes, yes.
Now this is what Codex gave us compared to what DeepSeek gave us. So overall, you can see that even the free model is even giving us something much more better compared to what the free model are giving us. This is not too bad, but I'll still take this over it anytime, any day. This is still much better, and this is even much more faster. And this is just only one short prompt. I didn't give it any. I didn't have to go back and forth with it to reprompt it. Just one shot, and it gave me a working app. So that's the difference between this model. So this is getting better compared to what it used to be. And you can use this. You can use this and save yourself spending so much on Claude Code or Opus models or ChatGPT. Okay, so let's do the CRM one. I think I've copied that prompt. And always make sure to select this expert if you want to use this. Expert is the best, so you get the best out of it. Let's give it this prompt. Let's see what it comes up with. So let's also give the same thing to, let's give the same thing to Claude Code, and also give the same thing to Codex. Annotate. So now if I want to make correction, I can do that from here, but I'm not sure I need that. I'm going to open a new chat. Let's also do the same thing here as well. And I'm still on the emotion playground, but just use it. So this has created a job application skills. So let's see what I suggest the next pick, erase CB, JD pair, one of the application. It has created that, and let me see, how do I reference this skill? So we wanted this is the reason why we had to go to get that prompt. So you can create a CRM for us, CRM dashboard. Let me give it a prompt. So I've pasted the prompt. Now if you can see the prompt is pasted 310 lines, and let's send. Now this is the low budget Claude design I talked about. So now how do we even play the game you gave us? Start. What kind of snake game is this? It's supposed to be 3D snake game. Anyway, let's just say that this one has failed it. Let's go back and create something else. Let's see what you can do when you create CRM. So I know this Claude code, it takes forever. Let me see, Codex still on it, Claude design still on it, DeepSeek still on it. Okay, so while we're waiting for them to create the CRM, let's see if we can see co-work here. Maybe just, so let's see if we can switch to co-work. That if this is on the web app, code, customize, design, co-work. So we don't have that option for co-work and code on the web app. I think I might just have to switch the tasks. So code. Now let me give it this code here. Let it run this here. Something went wrong. Select your repo first. You're right. Which? Let me just select this repo and continue. Okay, so what I'm just trying to do is to move this CRM from this app, from the Claude Code app, move it to the web version so we can look at co-work here. You can look at Claude co-work here. So I just stop this from running since we already have it running on the web app. It's already running here. So let's see what DeepSeek is still running. Claude design is still running. Okay. So now let's move to co-work. We'll still check back on the other ones once they are done. So basically, what's the difference between co-work and Claude Code? Let me just take Claude chat out of it because chat is just like interaction. The difference between co-work and code is basically co-work have access to your entire computer. It have access to your files, it have access to your folders on your computer, having access in the sense that it can do things for you on the folder. Like basically for chats, you can always attach a folder and use that folder to do what you want to do. But for co-work, you don't need to attach the folder. For co-work, you just have to tell it that I want it to update something. Like for instance, if I open, let me open this folder now. Let me go to my download folder. Now these are what I have on my download folder. I can just tell it to, I want you to organize my download. So that's just what I need, and it will understand. We'll get back to skills, plugin, and connectors. Let me just tell it this first. So it has access to my computer, to my folder. It can organize that for me. It also have access to connect to external web to control your browser. Like for instance, you can tell it that you want it to search for a particular file on your folder, attach that file to an email, and send it to a particular person. So once you give it that instruction, because of through connector, it is connected to Gmail. And because it has access to, now it's telling me this is the folder, this is the download folder. I'll just allow, it has access to it, so it can connect to the folder. So while it's trying to connect, I think one of those dashboards have been created. Let me see what is created. Just a moment, let me just see who's at the door. Yes, good. That isn't anything. So let me just first of all accept this. Yes, existing folder recommended. Select group into a project folder. Yes. So now it's asking how I want it to organize the download folder for me. So once I select all that part, it will go ahead and organize the folder. Now we can see we have some different videos that are not in the folder. We have different files. So what it will do is that it will organize them, create a folder for them, make sure that they are all inside the particular folder where they should be. So that is how it controls your file. Now let's go back to our dashboard and see what's up. So this is still running. Let's see. Claude Design is still running. DeepSeek is still running. Let's see, Claude Code. So Claude Code as well is still running. And let me just have that opened. So while I'm just trying to get this up, does anybody have any questions so far as regards these different tools? Remember, what we are looking at for today is Claude Code and also different tools that comes with Claude ecosystem as a whole, which includes Claude Cowork, Claude Design, and also Claude Code. So that's the most important thing. But I just brought in these other tools like DeepSeek, Codex, so we can also see what they can do compared to what Claude Code can do, because some people might not have access or might not want to use Claude Code or might not want to pay for the Anthropic subscription. So if you already have OpenAI, you can also do the same thing with Codex, even though you might get a different result compared to what Claude Code would give you. But like I said, the more you keep using it or the more you keep prompting it to go back and correct or update the skill, update what it's doing already, it helps it to improve, it helps it to become better. And with time, it will understand how to do those things itself, and it will start doing those things without even you telling it or asking it to correct them. So that's the most important thing we should have in mind. Okay, so this one said I've hit my limit. So that's the reason why. Now let's confirm that. So, okay, so I still have my weekly usage. At least I've used 57%. I still have, but for my daily usage, I have to wait till after 3 hours. I need to use that again. So that's the reason why I said if you have other subscription as well, come with it. Let's not just bank on this. If not, we might not be able to do anything. Let's see Claude Design. Okay, so Claude Design has created a CRM for us, and this is what it looks like. Let's see how interactive it is. Pipeline, contacts, deals. Just a moment.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to say what I agree no, too much.
Okay, so we can see this is the dashboard it gave us. This is it. So this looks very interactive. Let's see if we can export anything. Chat exported. Okay, that's working. Settings, Nexus CRM. So once you have whatever you asked it to create for you, you have it created. You can always go back and update. You can always click on comments to tweak or to change something or to edit or to tell it what you don't want or what you don't like, what you want it to change. If we look at this dashboard, this looks very, very good. This is something that they can sell to a company because this will give them show them the data that they're working with, and everything seems to be working at the moment. So that's from Claude Design. Let's see if DeepSeek has completed this. Let's see. If you please go ahead.
All right, thank you. So the question is, how do you run that on the? So imagine you want to run it on the local server, or you want to host it, right? How do you do that?
You'll just come to this share button. You click on this share button. You can duplicate projects, download project as zip file. If you want to just go straight and host it. But what I always recommend is you can export it as, hand it over to Claude Code. So once you hand it over to Claude Code, so what Claude Code does is that Claude Code goes through the whole code and see if there's an improvement that it can make. If you can't think of any improvements yourself, you tell Claude Code to go through it and see if there's an improvement that it can make on it. So once they make the improvement, you'll tell Claude Code to help you push it to GitHub. So Claude Code will ask you for a permission to log into your GitHub account. Once you've logged into your GitHub account, it pushes it to GitHub. And from GitHub, you can host it on Vercel, or you can host it on Netlify, or even on your own hosting provider. So you can do that through Claude Code, or you can download it as a zip file and upload it yourself. If you're technical, you can download it as a zip file, upload it yourself to GitHub or to your hosting provider. But I always like to send it to Claude Code, so I just tell Claude Code to do the rest for me. So they just help me host it on. Okay, Davidson, go ahead, please.
Sorry, sir. It's like I will take you a little bit back. So, did design now? You did it this year.
CRM.
Yeah, you did it with
Design, Claude Design.
So now it has the whole code, because what we are seeing here is the design, but still we know you have the source code. You should have the source code. So in other words, when we want to build an app or anything, it's better to do it on Claude Design, then hand it over to Claude Code. Is that what you're saying?
Because of this Claude Design, except if you have a skill, there's a skill that you can install on Claude Code that is called front-end design skill.
Okay.
You can install front-end design skill. So it has that skill that to create something like this as well. But let's just say both of them, you don't have any skill installed on both of them. It's best to do it on design, because design is already built to know how to design something with a much more professional look and feel compared to Claude Code. Claude Code can still design this CRM, but it might just be like the basic or general thing that every other person does, except if you give it that skill. So Claude, there are tools. There's one skill called Awesome Skill. Awesome Skill also helps to make your design, your website looks much more polished. You can select your own brand kit and all that. And if you use front-end design also, it also makes it look more professional. So if you have those skills installed on your Claude Code, you can use Claude Code for this. But because of this is built to give us this kind of look and feel from the scratch. That is how they created this Claude Design. So once you just start it here, then you push it to Claude Code to complete or finalize the whole thing.
Okay. Sorry, when you were talking about, you made mention of API of 11
Lab.
11 Lab. So that API, let's assume that this CRM, you want to use voiceover, maybe AI voice with it. You can integrate it here, so that when you talk, maybe ask the CRMD, you ask it to maybe to analyze one data or maybe install or export anything, it will respond. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, if you want to, that means you have to include like a chat. You have to include like a chat interface so that you can, instead of you typing, you can just chat with it. Ask it, okay, what was our sales or our revenue for last year, or for the first quarter of last year, or last quarter of last year, or what was our projected revenue, or what is our cost, all those things, and it can tell you. So, but you have to go to 11 Lab to get the API key. Then let me just quickly open that. Let me open 11 Labs so I can show you. So once you get to 11 Lab, you have to create an account. Once you get to 11 Lab, you have to create an account. You have to sign up for an account. So this is taking a bit longer.
The API from 11 Labs, is it free or is it a paid version? Is it my network?
Oh yeah, it looks like it's frozen.
Okay.
Leo, is it frozen on your end? Is it frozen on your end?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, welcome back.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Loaded my computer with too many things happening at the same time. So let me just limit what I work on. So I was talking about the 11 Lab. For you to connect that, you have to go to 11 Lab, create an account, and also create a voice that you want to use. So let me just share my screen first.
Okay, I was asking then, is the 11 Lab API, is it free or is it a paid one? Or do you have to pay for the tokens?
Excuse me. Actually, 11 Lab, you can start for free. Let me see if I can open it here instead of opening another folder. 11 labs. Can you guys see my screen?
It's not sharing yet.
Not yet.
No, okay, yeah, it's
Okay,
showing
yeah.
now.
Okay, so let me just go to 11 labs so we can see. So if we go to pricing, you can start for free. Then, but if you want to use the voice, I think you might need to pay for it. You have to be on at least the starter plan for you to be able to use the voice. So you can just clone a voice, use the voice, and once you have a voice selected, you'll be able to use that voice for, let me just see, you'll be able to use that voice for whatever project you want to do. But you have to pay for it to do that. You can't use the voice for free. Let's see if I can.
The charge is it just if you pay for 1 month, you have a limited access, or does it charge by maybe by every API call you made?
Every API call, if you see at the top of this, because I use a fresh account. I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can enlarge it. If you see where here it has my name, it's still at 0%. So as you're using it, it is reducing. It is reducing as you keep using it. Let me just show you guys. Let's see voices. My voice. So now, if you want to use the voice, you have to come here and copy voice ID. Copy voice ID. You copy the voice ID, and you also copy your API keys. So API keys here, go to API, your API keys. Then you can create a new key. Click on it. Let's say call it CRM. Create the key, then you copy the key. So but also you need to make sure that this key is stored securely. So it's not being shown to people. So once you copy this key, you close it, you go back to the app you're working with. That's the reason why I said it's better to work on this. On either you work on the terminal or you work on IDE, which is the VS Code. So with this, it opens the ENV file for us.
ENV file.
Yes, so you paste the API key here. Let's say this is the API key. You paste it here and you save it. So automatically it picks that API keys and it uses it for what it's working on. But if you're working on a platform like this, you have to go to the folder, either this or the app itself. You have to go to the folder on your computer, look for the folder where the folder is, and open the folder, then look for the ENV file and save it there. So that's just the difference between that. But you still have to connect your API keys to it. Okay, so this could not complete organizing my folder because of the limits. So it said to be reset by 10 past 10. So it has not finished. But if you can see on this side of it, this is like a to-do list, what it's working on. So auditing folder content, sort loose files into, so it will show you what it is doing till it completes that task. Davidson, go ahead, please.
Sorry, do you have idea of instead of this using this paid version, using something like Olama and other thing, or this open source to run this thing, so that we cannot be able to, you can pay for the thing like the one you did with, I think, DeepSeek.
Yeah, so you have to go to open router.
Is it Open Rama?
No, open router.
Okay.
Open, where is it? Open router. Olama, I know you're talking about Olama. Olama is also.
Olama.
Yes, Olama is also inside open router.
Okay.
Olama is also inside of it. You can use Olama. If you want to use Olama all on its own, you have to either you download the models, you download it, and you need to have like a very strong graphic card on your system to run it. Or you can use it on open router. That's why I wanted to go through open router. You can use it on open router. But if we go to Olama, let's see, you can also run it here to download it. You run this code to download it, or you click on download. So you download it on your system. Olama also comes with free and also paid plan as well. But it is best to use OpenRouter because OpenRouter gives you different options. So browse our models. So it gives you different options that you can use for free. All these models, you can use them for free. But the problem is that most of these models, they don't have a very large context window. So what they give you might not be able to use it for a very long time, and it will tell you that you've run out of session, start a new session because of they are free. But you can definitely use them for free, and they won't be as good as what you get from the paid version. For instance, OpenAI Whisper, you can use OpenAI Whisper for free. That's instead of using 11 Lab voiceover. You can use OpenAI Whisper for free, and it will still give you like the same thing 11 Lab will give you, but 11 Lab is always better. So definitely, excuse me, there are different models that you can use. There are different models that you can use for free using OpenRouter. You don't want to spend money or go that route. So this is one option. But for you to get that, you need to sign in, or you need to just sign up, create an account. Once you create an account, you get your API key. You will get your API key, then you go back to the app you're working with or the AI, give it your API key. So what it will do is that it will just go through the different free models on OpenRouter and look for the one that's the best, and you connect your app to it. So you can use that for a start. And once that one goes down, you look for a different one again, connect it to it. So that's a different way you can use OpenRouter. And you can also use the paid model from it as well from here. So that is that. I also use this also. I also connect it to my different applications. So I hope that answered your question, Davidson.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Do you want to connect it now? Do you want to connect the API to the CRM?
If I want to connect it, then I would say I'll have to reprompt it. Because I need it to be able to have voice, option for voice. Then I can connect my OpenMD or my any other API to it. So let me just tell it, I want you to add an option for chat whereby I can use I hope this will allow me. Okay, I still have, let me see how much I have left for design. I should still have much to check. Let's see. So Claude design, I've used it 1%. So I hope this will be enough for it to give us this update. Where user can communicate voice. So, okay, so let's send it out. Let's see. So what it will do is that it will add an option for chats, and then it will ask for us to send in our API key. So let's see. So it's here. I'll add AI chat, voice assistant panel to CRM, floating chat button, side-in chat panel, text chat, voice input using web speech API, CRM aware, verify and deliver. So this is what it needs to do. Let's just see how far it will take it to complete. Meanwhile, let's see what DeepSeek has been able to accomplish. So DeepSeek, why are you not giving me the option to view it? Continue. What happened? Okay, DeepSeek is not done yet. So let's see, what else do we have? This is giving us blank. Codex, Alpha. Codex, we're supposed to build a CRM dashboard for us. And we see the CRM. So this is the CRM that Codex built. Davidson, go ahead, please.
So automatically now, we are now vibe coding already. That's what we are doing.
We are vibe coding, no, that's the thing, no.
I just want to call our attention, some of us attention to it, that we are already vibe coding, not to wait for the last day.
That's the thing, that's what we're already doing now. So basically, what you do most times with Claude Code or Codex is just a vibe code. You just tell them what you want to build, and they create that scene for you from scratch. So this is what I was saying before about Claude Code and Claude Design. If this was if this was a design from Claude Code, it will still give us the same thing like this. So this does not really have that interactive feel, like you see this donut or this pie chart and you see it moving while it's loading, and you see the dates. Let's see, deals. So this is also working. What we got from
Codex, right?
Sorry?
This one is Codex.
Codex, yes. What we got from this is still by far better. Okay, so now this is the chart. This is the chart I just added. Let me see. Hi, Nexus, can you hear me? Okay, let me allow. Voice input error. Okay, let me chat and see. You just say hi. Finish. Key matrix. Hi, I'm Nexus. Your CRM assistant. Here's a snapshot today. So, what would you like to focus on? Give me a full summary. Full CRM pipeline. So basically, we've added that. So the only thing we need to now add is the voice part. That's the only thing we need to add to it. And let me see. Voice input error network. Let me see if I still have enough to talk to it again. The voice option does not work as it gives me an error message. Can you also integrate with talkback so it can speak back to me instead of chats? Okay. So, but if we just see this is, look at the report. So you see this animation that comes out. That is what Codex does not give us. We'll go to reports. So it just looks static. Does not have the animation like what the design has. Activities. Now, these activities, I'm not sure I saw that. Let me look at Codex. Codex activity. Okay, it also has an activity, but can I check? I can't check. I can't select. Let me see, calls, emails, task. Okay, so it has activity, and you can also add an activity. Activity form opened. So where is the form opened? Okay, so let's go back to this. Okay, so this should have hit my limit for Claude Design. So I have to wait. Now, basically, you can see this is how you go back and forth with what you want. Keep telling it to do this, to add features to it. And if you still don't like what it's giving you so far, I can always tell it to change the design. If you have a kind of design you want in mind, let's say you're working for a company that you know what your company usually do, or you have a client that wants to design something like this for them, wants to give you what they want, the kind of design they want, just feed it to the AI. So AI will just go ahead and create everything they want, basically the way they want it. So that is that. You can still go back and update and look for how you can include what you wanted to do next. No, not now. Let's see what DeepSeek has come up with. So here's how the main dashboard helps us track pipelines. So this is taking a bit longer. Does anybody have any other question as regards what we've done so far? Davidson, go ahead, please.
Sorry, it's like I'm asking too much, but bear with me.
No, please, no need to apologize.
I want to
the question you have in mind, some people might want to ask it, but probably they might not want to say it loud. But I just go ahead and ask a question.
I noticed that even last week's section, there are some links you got from GitHub. So how do you get that links from GitHub? Maybe the one you said about frame design and other ones for
front-end design.
Yes. So how will I get that thing? Anything that I want from GitHub, such maybe API or designs or templates.
So what are usually this? Let this come up. Just a moment. Can you guys still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And can you guys see my screen?
No,
The
it's
screen
white
is
at the
white.
moment.
It's white at the moment. Mhm.
Is it still white or black?
It's
It's
white
white.
though.
Okay, let me just close something. I think I'm overloading this system. Basically, most times I don't shut down my laptop, so I just come back and start working on it. Let me just close some files. So just to answer the question while I still wait for it to come up, what I usually do is that I go to any of these AI to ask them. I usually use Perplexity for anything that has to do with research. I just go straight to it and I ask, what are the most trending tools for, or the most trending skills, or the current trending skills that I can give to Claude for them to be able to, for them to be much more intelligent and much more powerful. So I just ask it and it just go ahead and search for what people have been using. So most of these skills, once people, let me stop sharing. So most of these skills, once people start using these skills, they save them on GitHub and they just give it out to other people. So if you go to GitHub, you'll be able to search for those skills from GitHub, but it'll be difficult because you don't really know what you're looking for. So you just need to go to any of these AI tools. Just tell them that you want this particular tool, and immediately they will go ahead and search it. Go ahead and search for that skills on GitHub and give you the different links that you can use. So that's how you find out more things that have been happening. Find out the skills. Find out what you can use to update yourself. But you need to also ask AI to give you those things. If not, you might not have an idea what you want to do or what is currently trending. So that's how I get these skills. But I think I have it somewhere that has all the skills. Not like all the skills. I think it has about 50 skills. The best 50 skills that you can give to your AI to make them much better. I would send that link to the group so those that want to use it. You can use it on Claude Code, you can use it on Git and on Codex. You can also use it on Open Claw as well. So did my monitor go off? Let me just turn it back on. Okay, so I think my monitor went off and so okay, so this is it. Let me see. So this is when I wanted to install the Excalibur skills. I had to tell Perplexity to search for Excalibur skills for Cloud Code. So it came up with these different skills. And I copied these skills, I copied the GitHub page, and I gave it to Cloud Code. And I said, I wanted to install this skill, go through the repo, install the skill, and so I can use it. So that is one way to find a skill. Let me see if there's another one. Okay, let's see this one. Okay, so these are not the skills. So basically what I just do is just to ask them and they help me find the skills and I can use that for whatever I'm doing. So I thought this dashboard was working before. So something is wrong with what DeepSeek created. Something is wrong with what it created. So, but this is just how you get the best out of the different AI tools that you use. Just back and forth prompting, keep prompting them, and they keep learning from the improvement. And as time goes on, they will understand what they need to do and how to do it better. So you don't need to even prompt them that much or prompt them harder. They'll be able to do those things for you. So at this point, this might probably ask me to add an API key. So once it asks me to add an API key, because of there is no option for me to go through the code, to go through the folder and install the API and give it the API key inside an env file, I might just send the API key to it here. Or better still, I'll just wait till I hand it over to Cloud Code. Then I'll be able to, I'll tell Cloud Code then to create an env file. Then once it creates the env file, then I'll be able to add the API key to the env file. So that's just what I might have to do here. But this is basically what you can do with Claude Design. You can create presentation with it. You can create any kind of website with it. You can even create 3D animations, anything you want with it. And Claude Code, you can use it basically for creating code. Make sure you always have that skill in mind. Always use skill because it helps you get a better result from it. Cloud Cowork, it connects to your computer, your folders. You can do things on your folder. You can also connect to the web. You can connect it to the web through its agent, and it can also go search the web, do things for you on the web, fill forms for you, click different buttons for you on the web. So that's how you can use these 3 different tools. Any questions so far? Okay, so I believe that we have covered as much as the limit permits us. So at least we're able to do some things on Codex. So despite the fact that we started with both Codex and Cloud Code, Codex still has, we still have limits. We still have much limits to use on Codex. It has not given us the notification that we exhausted our limit for this session compared to what Cloud Code. So that's why I said, if you can use Codex if you don't already have Cloud Code, instead of paying for Cloud Code and not getting the best out of it, or not using it to complete what you want to do. You can have ChatGPT subscription and use Codex and do what you want to do. Just give it the skill, continue to iterate on it, and it will keep improving with time. So that's basically it. And if you don't want to go through these two, you can have OpenClaw. You can have OpenClaw, give it the DeepSeek API, and it can also give you something as good as what Cloud Code and Codex can give you as well. So that is another option. Okay, so any questions so far? Hope I've not ended up confusing you guys with these different tools. And for those that have it, please just try as much as possible to use it. If you have something and you don't practice that thing, there's no way you'll be able to get the best out of that thing. You have to practice it. You have to use it very often. If not, you end up not being able to use that thing to its best ability. So please use it as often as you can, and that way you get the best out of it. Okay, so anybody, anything, any question before we draw the curtain for today? So I think what we were looking at for next week is, I think it's vibe coding sort of. So it's even good because we've started this vibe coding process. So we'll have enough case study to look at. We'll have enough thing. We know that basically what we're doing through is just doing the same thing in a much more advanced way, vibe coding, different apps, different tools that we can use for our own different use cases. So that would be basically what we'll be doing, and we'll use all these different tools as well. I believe by now this is just like a foundation for us. Those have not vibe coded before. This would be like a foundation for you to start vibe coding. At least you know that you can use the natural language and send to this AI tool, and they'll be able to understand you and give you what you want. And if they don't give you exactly what you want, you can always go back and prompt them. And always remember, once you're starting any conversation with them, make sure you start with a plan mode. Make sure you have it set to planning, so it shows you what it's planning, shows you what it needs to do. And with that plan mode, you can gradually understand what it's doing and what it needs to do. And if it's not aligning with what you want, you can always reprompt it, tell it to change. And that way you don't end up wasting credits going back and forth with it. And importantly, make sure you have a skill that you install. So I'll send a link that has different skills or the best skills that we can install. Just copy the skill, give it to the AI tool, tell it to go through the repo and install that skill for you. It just automatically install the skill. But if you're doing it on Cloud Code, make sure you do it on Cowork or Cloud Code. Don't do it on the chat, because chat will not be able to install that skill. Do it on Cloud Code. And also, if you want to do it on VS Code as well, VS Code can also do that, which is also fine. You can also do that as well. So, and also make sure you try and connect to different MCPs, different external applications. Like if, for instance, I have different connectors. Like for instance, Notion. So I use Notion to create create like plans, what I do or what I work on or what I look at. So I cannot just tell it to go to Notion and install something for me. If I have a plan, if I have what I want to create and I don't want to do it immediately, I'll just connect, because I have it connected to Notion. I'll tell it to go to Notion, save that thing for me on Notion, and that is what it does. So different MCPs you connect it to makes life easy for you while you're working with it. Okay, so that's basically it. And next week, we'll dive deeper into vibe coding, and we'll look at what we can do and what we can achieve. Hopefully, we should be able to vibe code a working app from start to finish before we run out of our limits. Okay, so does anybody have anything to say or to ask or to confirm? Davidson, please go ahead.
Just to say a big thanks to you for your time and the wealth of knowledge you are sharing with us. Really appreciate the effort. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Wow, it's my pleasure. Alexandra.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eric. You've been very, very brilliant with this, and we are learning so much and catching up. So what I really wanted to ask is that I've been using Cursor, so and I think it's kind of similar to VS Code. So I was like, is it possible to add these skills to Cursor? Because on Cursor you can like add OpenAI codecs to it. So, or I need to just leave Cursor and migrate to VS Code or Claude Code.
But if you're already using Cursor is fine. You can use Cursor. Some people use Base 44, Cursor, Lovable. All those ones, they are fine because they still give you the same thing. So, but the reason why most people use this Claude Code is because they have the models that you use. They upgrade their models, but Cursor does not have that model that upgrades. They just upgrade their platforms. But this ones, they have the model that they upgrade. So once a better model comes out, it makes it like 5 times better to the previous version. That's the reason. But you can still do the same thing. You can still add skills to it, because the skill is just for it to be able to. The skill is for it to be able to go through GitHub repo, understand the skill, and create that skill. So at most or at worst, if Cursor cannot create that skill globally on the platform, what it can do is just use that skill as a custom instruction and save that skill as maybe like a skill.md file. Save it on Cursor, so that way you can always refer to that skill for it to use. But it always find a way for it to be able to have that skill saved. So you can still continue to use Cursor. Cursor is good as well, but just because of the different models and different options we have for these ones, Claude Code, Codex, that's why most people come to this. And because of these ones, they've gained more popularity compared to those other ones. That's why people use this. And that's why some of these tools, like Cursor, for instance, now they give you the option to integrate Claude Codex into their platform. So that way they can also bring people that uses Codex, the Codex customer, to their own side as well. So, but you can still use it. It's still fine. It's still very good.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. Any other question? Okay, so we might have to draw the curtain here and let the Patra go ahead.
Okay, so it might be a deviation from the current discussion, but I was just wondering, where does digital product creation fit into these whole Claude code and the codex thing? That's one. Two is the automation part of it. Where does it also fit in? Are we going to, because I hear you talk about vibe coding for next class. Are we also going to look at these two areas?
Yes, I think if we look at the outline we have, we should have that option. I think after vibe coding is supposed to be automation. Let me see if I can quickly get that up. So let's see. I'm just trying to look for where I saved that. Okay. So just to get it faster, I'll just go through. I sent it to somebody recently on WhatsApp. Let me just open it on WhatsApp so we can see. So if we look at, sorry if you're here and I'm showing your chat, no vex. This is the closest one that I can just lay my hands on. So if we look at, let's see if I can enlarge it. If we look at week, this is week 3, Claude code and for non-coders. Next week is AI agent and automation. Vibe coding is week 8, not even next week. So that means I'll just say I'm ahead of myself. Vibe coding is week 8. So AI agent and automation is for next week. So content creation is also week 9. Selling digital product is week 10. So all this will also come into play. But also just to quickly answer your question, for if you guys remember, the first repo we looked at was affiliate marketing repo. And what that skill entails is also creating affiliate marketing digital products. So once you have that skill installed, it first of all helps you go through, search the trending affiliate products and digital products to sell, and also helps you organize or helps you plan on how to create your own. So that's one. And if you also wanted to even go ahead to create a digital product for you, you can also do that. That's one option. The second option, let me see if I can have that open. The second option is to use the same Notion. This Notion MCP connector, this Notion connector we have it on Cloud Code, have it on Codex. You can just instruct it to create a digital product for you on Notion. And I think I have that skill. There's also the Notion skill as well. Let me go back to my skills. So if I look at new chats, open the skills, manage skill. So one of the skills that I have is Etsy digital products. So that's one of the skills that I installed on it. So what it does is that it creates that digital product that I can sell on Etsy. And it's normally, if you're selling things on Etsy, anything digital, you either have to create it on PDF, spreadsheets, or Notion templates. Although some people now goes the extra mile of creating it on a dashboard as creating an HTML file of it. So instead of just creating it on Excel or creating it on Notion, you create like an interactive dashboard that comes with it. So that one sells more. Just like the vibe coding we just did. You can create something like that and sell it on Notion as a digital product. So, but if you want to do the normal way, you can just connect to Notion. Once you connect it to Notion, automatically you can prompt it to go to Notion and create that digital product to your Notion. And it goes ahead to do that. Let me see if I can pull up an example of one that I created. So if I come to Notion, Notion is a very powerful tool, and Notion also has its own AI that you can just give your prompt and it will go ahead to create what you want it to create for you. So so this is where I created the program and I saved it here so I don't miss it. Let me just wait for it to load. Now on this sidebar. Okay, so on this sidebar, I have UK House Plan Tracker. So now this is a template that I created that I'm selling on Etsy. This is how the template looks. And this is just basically for people that do indoor gardening. So it gives them the start guide. It shows them how to duplicate the template. It shows them how to use the templates and all that. And it also has a table for them to be able to add their different plants, different gardenings, and the same table as well. So something like this, if you want to create it by yourself, it might take you time. And if you don't even have the skill, you might not be able to even do this. But once you have that skill connected to your AI tools, you can just connect your MCP to Notion and you tell it to go ahead and create something like this. So it just creates the whole complete template for you and come back with the feedback saying that it has done it. So you just come here and see what it has done. So everything everything that was created here was done by the AI. I didn't do any of this myself. So it did everything. We see, so this page is live. So I hosted it, I launched it on Etsy, and this is how you create a digital product without you doing it yourself. So, but first you need to find that skill, install that skill. Then you connect it to MCP to that particular app you want to use. Then you instruct it, tell it to go ahead and create it, and it will connect to that app and create that thing for you. So that's basically how you do that for digital products. If you want to do that for automation, you also need to install the skill for automation as well. Cleopatra, go ahead. You're on mute if you're talking.
So that result on gardening for Etsy, since it's not a space you operate in, right? Or do you know anything about gardening? Even if you had to go through it to know if there's error or not, do you? That's one. Two is, if you don't, is that result completely devoid of any kind of error? Because this is a product, digital product you're selling.
That is the reason why you should have more than one AI tool to use. One creates what you want, the other checks for error. So now when I created this, I had to, before I finished creating, I had to copy the whole thing and I went to Codex and I told it what I wanted to do, told it what I've created, and I told it to go through and make sure that it's error-free. And what Claude Code gave me, to Claude Code, it gave me the perfect product. So I think it was when, after Codex went through, gave me some correction, told me to change some things, I went back to Claude Code. Claude Code changed all those things and everything was fine. Then when it was now time for me to upload it to Etsy, then I connected Perplexity Assistant because I've not used Etsy before. I don't know how it works. So I told Perplexity to help me upload this to Etsy, help me create a page on Etsy and upload that. So it created the page, created everything for me on Etsy. When it was about to upload it, it told me that the example product that I selected, the example plant that I selected are the kind of plants that, how did they even put it? The kind of plant that are prohibited on Etsy to sell. There are some of them that that seems like drugs. Some plants that are like drugs. That this kind of plant, Etsy will not accept it. And meanwhile, both Claude Code and Codex gave me that plant to add. So this Perplexity Assistant had to go through it and say, those things will not fly. I should remove those products. If not, Etsy will delete the product. Etsy will not list it. So now this is the third AI tool coming in to look at what I'm doing before even publishing it. So what I then told it was, okay, go ahead and help me make the changes. Look for products or look for plants that you think would be acceptable. Because it's hard to search online. That's why I still like Perplexity, to go online and give you updated information. You have to search online to give me the guideline of what Etsy wants, the kind of product they don't want, and what sells. So when they gave me an answer, okay, correct it, remove those products that are not allowed, and make sure you put the ones that will fly, that will work. So that was how it helped me to edit everything before publishing. So it's important for you to have different AI tools. Once this gives you this, go back and verify, because most times you might not know how to do something. And if you say, because I've not done this thing before, I don't know anything about it, let me not go into it, you might just be losing money that you'll be making in the future. So since you have these different AI tools, AI can do all those things for you. Tell the other AI to correct it. Like what most people do now is that they connect Codex, because now you can connect both Codex and Claude Codes together. They work on the same IDE. So you can either use VS Code, connect them, or you can connect them on one platform. So once Claude Code does the coding, Codex verifies the code to make sure that it's supposed to work. So it's just like having two different programmers working for you at the same time. So that's just what I like doing with these different AI. Once I get one, do something with this, I always verify with the other one to make sure that what they gave me is the correct thing. So that's how you'll be able to make sure you don't sell the wrong thing, or you don't give people, mislead people, or give people what does not actually work. So that is that. Hope I answered your question, Cleo.
Yeah, yes, you did. But I have a follow-up question. So while you were explaining, you mentioned that Perplexity set up
Yeah.
the page for you from start to finish.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Perplexity set up the page. So I just opened the page and I just told it to, I want to list this product on Etsy. I want to help me create an Etsy shop. So he went ahead. First, when they got to the sign up part, they said, okay, I should put my password myself. I had to create password myself, make sure that I signed up. And after that, it took over the page, did everything. And when it's time for me to upload the product, I had to upload the products to it. I added the products here, the file here. So it went through it. And that was when it now told me that there are some things that they flagged that are not supposed to be added. And I said, okay, go ahead and correct those things. He made the changes, uploaded everything, and finalized the whole thing. So that's
Okay.
how.
Okay, so when you want to copy the result that was given to you here and then run it on Codex, right? For
Yeah.
errors. Where do you copy from?
Now,
Because it was a large file.
okay, from here, right? So I don't need to,
Mm,
what I just do, Claude Code has MCP connected to Notion. Codex has MCP connected to Notion. So it's here.
mm,
I just tell it, go to this Notion page. This is the page. I'll just copy this page, this URL. This is the link to my Notion product. Just copy it and I'll give to it. And let me just quickly just do that again. Go to this Notion page and then we want to link. So I just copy the link and I'll send to it. And because of it's connected via MCP to Notion, automatically it can go to the same page and read through everything there and come back and give me feedback. I don't have to copy anything. I can even tell it from here, make the changes yourself. From here to go and make the changes to the page and come back and they give me feedback.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. So now it's saying I'll use the Notion connector for this rather than guessing from public URL. So you see, because it has that Notion connection, it should just go straight to Notion and do what it has to do. But if it's an application that does not have, that is not connected, it might not be able to go and see exactly what you want it to verify. It will just give you a guesswork. But most of them have that connector. Like if I go to Perplexity, for instance, and I click on this add connectors, this is also Notion. It's also connected to Notion. So the way I use Notion here is that if I like what they gave me here, I can just tell it, create a Notion page for Cloud skills and add, this is skills, right? And add this skill. So I just tell it to create a Notion page for Claude skill and add this skill. And this is also what some people also sell on Etsy. They'll just compile different skills, like 100 skills or 50 skills, and they'll sell them on Etsy. So you can just tell it, go ahead and create this. Looks like you may have forgotten to attach the skills details. They're not in skills. Okay, let me look for the last skill. So, code skill. The Batra, please go ahead.
When you do your listing on Etsy via these AIs, do you do any other extra lead generation for the products you've listed, or it's automated on Etsy, or you can deploy any of the AIs to do that for you?
You know,
And just
Etsy is,
out of sheer curiosity, what's the patronage like for your experience, and how long have you been listing your products, digital products on Etsy?
not just like 2 weeks ago that I even listed this. And the reason why I even did that was because of, I just saw somebody did it on YouTube and talked about that they've been listing, because I've been hearing about that product for a while now. but I've not really put in the serious interest into it. So I saw somebody talked about that they've been doing it for a while and how it has been working for them. And I know that it sells. If you have something that makes sense, people buy, because X is a very popular platform. And they have traffic coming to that platform a whole lot. So I said, okay, let me just try and see if AI can even do something like this for me. So that was why I just tried that. That was just, okay, let me just try something. And I was surprised that AI did everything from start to finish, and it was posted. So you can do your own lead generation. You can also do your own, if you want to do your own advert or like create a video for it or tell people about it, share the link. You can do all those ones for it to generate traffic. But I was not really doing it to, like, I want to do it as a business. I just did, okay, let me just try and see how it works with AI. If AI can automate the whole process for me from start to finish. And that was why I actually did that. And it's still there. I've not even gone to that Etsy site to even see whether I even visited it or not. I just left it there because I've gotten what I wanted. So that's that. But if it's something that people are interested in, they can always do that. Just create it and keep publishing. But the problem with Etsy is that if you want to list a product, I think you pay like $15 or so. You have to pay for listing. So that's just the problem with it. But aside from that, it is a very good platform that people use. So that is that. So this is how you connect to different applications and try things using AI. So most times, instead of you doing things yourself, just connect the application to your AI platform and tell it what it needs to do, and it will go ahead and do those things for you. If it does not do those things correctly, you correct it. And as time goes on, it turns that into skills. So now we say the Notion page has been successfully created. You can review it here. So if I click on this now, it should open that page for me. Now, this is the page that it's created. So I can continue to build on this page. I can tell it, okay, find the top 50 best skills at the moment, add them to this page. It will go ahead and do the same thing for me, add those skills. So it has added some notable skills that you can use, content, social media skills, other notable skills. So that is that. I didn't need to come to a Notion to start creating all this. And basically, I don't even know how to even use Notion. So I just understand how Notion works and what they use Notion for, but I don't know how to start adding and start creating things. And it takes time to do. So with AI, I just tell it to create everything for you, and you have it sitting on your Notion page, your Notion dashboard. Okay, so I believe we've exceeded our time for today. So is there any other final question before we call it a day or call it a night? Okay, so as usual, I will send out the link for review. So for those that did not review for the last week, please make sure you review for this week. Drop your review. At least that will go a long way to show that what I'm doing is being appreciated. Or if I'm just doing what does not make sense, I'll need to adjust. But just tell me what you think, drop your review, and I appreciate that. So I'll send the other links that I need to send about different skills. And those that want to start using that, you'll have that installed and use it, and I'm sure you enjoy it. Okay, so from here, I would say my good night to you guys, and thank you all for staying till this time. And I also apologize for taking way more than the time. It was supposed to be 2 hours, but this, I think it will come beyond 2 hours. And hopefully we should be able to work with time going forward. Okay, guys, thank you all for your time, and I'll see you in the next class next.
Have a good evening, Eric.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, good night, guys.
Night, darling. Take care.
Putting on the chat. Yeah, bye. Okay. Stop.